Bible is full of lies.
All your churches have been lying to you.
Christians, we need to have a conversation. Your pastor has been lying to you for years, and he probably doesn't even realize it.
As a senior pastor, I never really preached about the Trinity. I just always preached about God. And so getting away from the Trinity, getting away from the cross was hard. But once I started taking classes and getting into it, I understood. It's like, yeah, this is a big hoax. This is a lie. This is a big hoax. This is a lie.
Banyak orang Kristen sendiri mengakui Bible, gereja, sampai pendetanya doyan ngibul. Oke lah, itu urusan dapur mereka. Tapi kalau mereka udah mulai bohong soal Islam, pasti otak kita jadi ngebul juga kan? Nah, untungnya Lily J muncul. Walau baru mualaf tahun ini, tapi tangannya langsung gatel kalau lihat orang Kristen bikin hoax, nyenggol Islam. Langsung aja yuk, kita simak dulu gimana dia nyentil pendeta TikTok yang bikin hoax di berandanya kali ini.
If you have an Islamic terrorist saying we're going to oppress women, okay? Did Muhammad? Yes.
Did Prophet Muhammad oppress women? Hey ChatGPT, did Prophet Muhammad ever oppress women?
No. Prophet Muhammad elevated the status of women, granting them rights that were revolutionary for their time, including rights to inheritance, education, and protection, and explicitly forbade oppression or mistreatment of women.
Point, I'm really confused. Like, this video we're watching, what are they trying to achieve? Are they just trying to spread hate, or does this man genuinely not know what he's talking about?
Keheranan Lily J sangat masuk akal. Sebagai Muslim, kita tentu bertanya-tanya, kenapa mereka bisa berbohong sedemikian keji? Dari mana kebiasaan seperti itu berawal? Menariknya, pertanyaan itu terjawab lewat kisah seorang pastor yang akhirnya memeluk Islam. Dari kisah singkatnya, kita bisa belajar bahwa kebohongan keji dengan memfitnah Islam ternyata itu adalah buah dari pohon kebohongan yang mereka tanam sendiri. Setidaknya itulah yang diakui mantan pastor ini.
Yeah, this is a big hoax. This is a lie.
Dan sekali lagi, Allah meneguhkan firman-Nya dalam Al-Quran bahwa Dia adalah sebaik-baik pembalas tipu daya. Lihat saja, sang pastor pemilik nama Dr. Robert ini tak datang sendiri. Ia membawa serta 12 pastor lainnya untuk bersujud hanya kepada satu Tuhan.
And so I started a church called Kingdom Culture Center in New York City, boasting about, we grew from 20 people to over 8 different locations all over the country, and was being mentored by top Christian leaders. And for some reason, I just felt this is not it. As a senior pastor, I never really preached about the Trinity. I just always preached about God. We saw Jesus as pretty much as a way shower. I couldn't, as much as I went to school, we really couldn't break down. I always had an issue with the Trinity because I read that God is one in the Bible, and then all of a sudden God changes his mind and becomes 3 persons. It just was a conflict for me. And who is the Holy Spirit? How did he show up? Like, who are you? The Bible is very clear from the evangelical standpoint. This is God right here in the Old Testament. And then there's a break. And then God all of a sudden becomes three in one. It just wasn't clicking for me. And I remember talking to my leadership staff, talking to my leaders and saying, this doesn't make sense. And I started questioning things regarding the Trinity and different religion, and just wasn't making any sense to me. I couldn't understand a person who went to theology school, matriculated in the highest of Christianity, being a bishop, a so-called a prophet, an apostle, just couldn't have answers. And for many people, even my leaders had questions. So they said, just think about it this way. Don't try. These are the mysteries. This is the mysteries of Christ. Just accept it for what it is. We'll never understand it, but just accept it. But the word Trinity is not in the Bible. Well, we made that up. We put that together to describe who God is. I said, well, we're giving God extracurricular names now. And so it got me in a lot of hot water. And the great part about being that I had leaders was that I didn't have to listen to them. I did my thinking for myself. And so doing my thinking, I begin to explore other things. I was like, this doesn't make sense. If God is one, then how did he become three? And it just became a cluster of, this is not the answer. And I told my congregation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you have some pushback from the congregation? How were they responding to that?
The great part about it is most of these people that I led into the congregation, I led them into Christianity. So they took what I said for word for word. It was like, it never made sense to us. We'll do what you say. We'll go where you're going to go with this. And it was pretty easy to transition. So
Yeah.
went independent, and then I said, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And we closed down. And so getting away from the Trinity, getting away from the cross was hard. But once I started taking classes and getting into it, I understood. I was like, yeah, this is a big hoax. This is a lie. This is really a myth. And then the Bible lets you know that verses have been added to it. And closed the church down. Folded.
All 8 locations?
All 8 locations. Folded.
Wow.
Folded. And I went on this journey of trying to find God, and ended up going into voodoo.
Into what?
Yeah. Voodoo.
Alih-alih menjauhi Trinitas, Robert justru mendekati dunia spiritual Yoruba. Kepercayaan yang berakar pada 3 roh utama dalam ritual Voodoo. Di Amerika, Voodoo lahir dari campuran kepercayaan Afrika Barat, Katolik, dan budaya lokal. Selama 7 tahun, Robert bahkan menjadi pemimpin spiritual Voodoo, memimpin ritual, dan mengobati banyak orang. Tapi kehidupan penuh mantra itu tiba-tiba berubah. Robert terserang penyakit aneh yang tak bisa dijelaskan. Yang dia rasakan, semua gejalanya itu mirip dengan semua pasien yang pernah ia obati. Mulai dari sinilah Allah menunjukkan kasih sayangnya pada Robert yang makin jauh tersesat dalam kebohongan ini.
I could get people healed. I could do so many different things for other people. If you needed millions of dollars, I can get you millions of dollars. It came to me being sick. I also worked in healthcare, and I began to take on the symptoms of the patients I was treating. And I ended up being in ICU for 2 weeks. And prior to going into ICU, I kept going to my shrines, and I kept saying, I'm sick. What is going on here? We'll heal you if you do this. Sacrifice a chicken, sacrifice a goat, sacrifice a cow. I'm getting worse, and I'm getting worse, and I'm getting worse. And so I ended up on ICU, and really strange. I remember watching 2 TikTokers, Maliki Click and Amina Roche. And Amina Roche talked about something called tahajjud. I called it tajahun. I didn't know how to pronounce it. So tahajjud.
Tahajjud, yes. The night prayer. That's the night prayer.
That's the night prayer. And my doctors were literally giving me, because of the sepsis in my body and the infection, I had literally days to live. And so I said, I'm going to try this tahajjud thing, and let's see if Allah works. And I done tried Oludumare, I done tried all the Orishas, I done tried all this other stuff. I tried Jesus, I done tried everybody. Nothing's working right now. Let me try tahajjud. So I tried tahajjud. First night, nothing changed. Second night, nothing changed. Third night is where something really began to change. I would go down to the hospital chapel, and they would let me go down, and I would pray. The morning of the 3rd night, the doctor came in and he said, we've been testing your blood hour upon hour, and we notice your white blood cells are normal. You're normal. I was like, okay, this is tahajjud. Okay, I'm going to take note. This is tahajjud. So I guess the tahajjud works. I was released from the hospital the same morning. And as I was driving home, I began to have thoughts. I don't think Allah did this. And so I don't think this really happened. And I'm out of the hospital, and I'm going home to end it. And so something said, get your phone, go to TikTok. Maliki Click was on TikTok. And I've never in any TikTok history have ever requested to go on someone's live. I said, can you give me Shahada?
So that was just recently?
That was recently, yes. I literally heard a loud voice on the inside to say, do this. Go on the internet and do this. Come on. I had no intention of being a Muslim. I was going to take my tahajjud healing and going back to my voodoo and making my money. I was good with that. It was good money. But at the same time, there's a power in submission and surrendering to Allah. There's a peace that you will have that you cannot have out of this dunya, that you only get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. And so if you are searching for that peace, surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Before you think about giving up, get in a place of submission and surrender, and understand that you have a creator who says, I am who my servant thinks I am. I am who my servant needs me to be. And that is personal for me, because again, I was in a worship where I had a distant God, an unknown God, a God with three heads, and now a God I don't have to imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that he is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Allah is. That's all I need to know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I add this as well?
Absolutely.
Since I've taken Shahada, I have led over 12 other pastors into Islam. So we're going to see more testimonies come.
Hold on. Wait. 12. You've helped guide 12 other Christian pastors to Islam, submission to the Creator, not the creation. Yes?
Yes.
Please share.
I'll send them away. I'll send them your way.
we love